Hey, internet friends, cousins, and scoundrels. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Pull up a chair, honey, and let's have a chat. And since the algorithm really likes it when you interact with the content, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe since you're here. Now I ain't gonna hold you. Let's get right into this. Y'all, Maurice just may have stepped in it this time. Y'all remember that public threat he made against some, at the time, unnamed content creators some months ago? That ultimately turned into him calling himself suing Black Titanic, Here for Hot Tea, and a viewer that goes by the name Anonymous? Yeah, well, that shit took a sharp left turn and blew up in his face when it was discovered that Maurice allegedly filed these lawsuits under false pretenses and that he lied on official documentation in order to get banking information from these ladies, in addition to other personal data. And who knows what Maurice used that information for? Child, we can only speculate at this point. Now, I'm sure you guys may have already seen True T's video by now, but if you haven't, scoot on over there and take a listen. Then make sure you make your way on over to Trending at Some Point's channel for a full reading of these legal documents. Because, honey, this way you can get all the information. Now, according to True T, Black Titanic and her attorney are not playing with Maurice's ass. And they have filed a real, not no bullshit, but a real counter lawsuit against him to the tune of $5 million. Damn! And child, he has managed to get the OWN network tied up right alongside him in this lawsuit. And I know that Carlos King and his kingdom reign of terror is just happy he wasn't named in the lawsuit, because $5 million is a whole lot of money to have to pay somebody because you out here allegedly lying and filing frivolous lawsuits. Child, a mess. And I bet Maurice just wishes he would have shut the hell up and sat the fuck down somewhere when he had the chance. Now, personally, I believe that Carlos was the one who talked him into getting himself fucked up like this, because Maurice said back when he made that initial threat that he had talked to Carlos about it. Now make that shit make sense. Maurice is supposed to be a whole ass attorney out here, but he is seeking legal advice from Carlos King, a TV producer. Okay. Now look where that shit has gotten him. Fucked up and about to be exposed. Damn, how dreadful. You know, now that I think about it, this really explains Marceau's incoherent alcohol-induced rant that he went on the other day on IG about, how much he hated the mellometers, and in his own words, he was, quote, day drinking. And he was rambling on about how much he hated the mellometers and how he was mad about the blackout of the show by some of the viewers, and that he didn't want the mellometers to buy anything from him. And child, look, everybody was like, what the hell? Where did all this come from? Because that little rant was out of nowhere. But now it makes sense. He was mad. He was mad about this lawsuit. And listen, I guess I would be mad too if my brother was being sued for $5 million. But I would be mad at his ass for putting his own self in the line of fire. Please, you talk about projection and misplaced anger. The Scott brothers are it. Listen, the fact is that the reported criminal history was alleged, okay? And with Maurice and Kimmy being the least relevant cast members of the show, nobody really cared. This could have just blown over. And if the truth be told, it had blown over by the time Maurice decided to address it. And even still, once he did address it, the videos were removed from the channels. And that should have been the end of the story. But it wasn't, because Maurice started to feel himself, okay? Started to smell his ass. And he got a big ego boost out of bullying one of the youngest and the oldest bloggers in this sector. Oh, but he didn't stop there. he went on a trolling spree, popping up in other content creators' comment sections, demanding for them to change their thumbnails or the titles of their videos and shit. Talk about tick tick boom crazy. This Nick Nog is on a whole reality show, embarrassing himself and his long-suffering ass wife season after season, as he's portrayed as a man that has no sexual control or discipline, but mad because content creators talk about him and his character. You know, the traits that he displays publicly. And hell, I guess Maurice seems to think that the content creators owes him a better representation than what he provides for himself. And nigga, please, we talk about what we see. You show us a fool, we gonna talk about the fool you showed us. Simple as that. And listen, if people from your past acquaintances, childhood friends, cousins, haters that know you personally want to pop up in people's DMs and spill tea, then it is what it is. You are on a reality TV show. That's what you signed up for. You signed up to display your life on a public platform. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Get off of television, okay? If you can't handle it. Listen, that space, the reality TV space, is not for everybody. It just isn't. Because once you make yourself open for public consumption, people are going to consume you. They're going to consume all of it. And some people will either volunteer information to content creators, and some content creators will look for it. It is what it is. But that is the nature of the beast. It's not something specific to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Well, I guess the moral of the story here is don't buy wolf tickets. Carlos King and whomever else amped up Maurice, only for him to find himself on the other end of a real ass lawsuit. And by the sound of it, the attorney that Black Titanic has retained, she knows her shit and is following the letter of the law. Because unlike Maurice, she is that type of attorney. Ooh, Maurice looks like
you in danger, girl.
Maurice set out to so-called teach someone a lesson, but he may have ended up learning that it don't pay to fuck around with the wrong people. This may be the most expensive and embarrassing lesson he will have to learn. Oh well. You know what they say about those tables, don't you? Yeah, they have a way of turning. And it looks like this case has indeed taken a turn. And I'm sure that Maurice did not see this coming. Because if he had, I honestly believe that he would have, at the very least, went about filing the so-called lawsuit legitimately. But he didn't. Because he believed that his bullying and intimidation tactics would be enough to curry the kind of outcome he was looking for, and ultimately silencing not just the two CCs that he was, quote, suing, but all of the CCs from speaking out about him and his long-suffering, male-identified ass wife. So, this case is far from over, and we still don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I, for one, am rooting for the content creators. What about you? Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this turn of events. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bet you know now.